So let's bring in the Goldilocks farmer, Jim Lebenthal, investment committee member, who joins us. I think you're on the phone. Is that right, Jimmy?
I am, Scott. Sorry I couldn't be with you in person today.
That's okay. We're glad to hear your voice because this is just what the doctor or the farmer ordered, right?
You're darn right. And I want to give credit to something Josh said yesterday. He said, look, the algos are going to take over in the morning if you get a hot jobs number, a hot top line number. And that's exactly what happened. The algos took over. But when you get more thoughtful past what the algos do, you do what exactly everybody on this show right now is saying is, this is good inflation numbers, all right? 0.2%, you annualize that month over month, you annualize that to 2.4%. Hey, Steve, what if you get a little productivity on top of that? This inflation problem can go away pretty darn quickly, and the Fed looks like it's met its mandates, both of them, full employment and price control. I do want to say one more thing, which is that the bears are not idiots, okay? Their thesis has some rationality that higher interest rates should bite. But here's the thing. So is the bulls' thesis, my thesis, that if the consumer is employed and inflation is coming down, that's a positive elixir. Where the balance gets struck, Scott, is sentiment. CEO sentiment that keeps people hired, investor sentiment that keeps the rally going, consumer sentiment that keeps the economy going. And that sentiment will get stronger as the Fed gets more comfortable and signals that it's close to, if not at the end of its rate hikes.
Steve Leishman, Jay Powell's not going to put the jumpsuit on, and he's not going to stand near a banner that says mission accomplished at this moment. But you got to believe he's feeling rather victorious at the moment for a number of reasons. Inflation's come down a bunch. He's gotten the market to listen to him, right? The idea that they're off cuts, the market's off the cuts to the degree that it was before. He's maintaining a strong economy, and whatever they're doing and have done has gotten inflation down to a pretty substantial degree. How would you assess that?
I think he's a little more nervous than that, and I'll explain why.
I think he is, too.
Well, first of all, I think we pay him to be nervous, but you are asking him, and actually the consensus of the economic community, to abandon this supposed relationship between job growth and inflation. I think if any Fed chair is willing to go there, this is the guy. Because not being a sort of economist from the Chicago school or the whatever school or the Keynes school, he doesn't have a dog in the fight. I think he's open to it, very much the way Greenspan back in 1996 made what was probably the most important call of his career when he decided to let productivity run and did not raise rates despite being hammered by a lot of his colleagues to do so. This may be a moment that he lets it run to see how it comes out by thinking, hey, I'm in a good place. I'm 500 basis points tighter than I was. I got the bond market working with me. I'm still nervous about this call.
Of course.
Remember the two things that Powell said. He said twice now in Jackson Hole that bringing inflation down will require GDP running softer than potential, okay? That has not happened, so he's got to let that run. And he's also said it will require pain in the labor market. That has not happened. So before you think of Powell sort of sleeping well at night, he might sleep well at night anyway, he still has to deal with these two things, which is the idea that the labor market can remain this strong and inflation come down. So far, so good, but I don't think he's going to be
unless he is misjudging the metrics by which he is making his future decisions, looking at more lagging things. I don't know. It's not like they've gotten everything right to this point, and maybe the system is going to work in ways that they didn't expect it to work.
Yes,
and that's going to solve the whole thing for him anyway.
It may be, and I think Jim is right that there's an untold productivity story out there. I don't think it's quite coming from AI. I think work from home was probably a positive when it comes to productivity. I still think we're learning to deal with that and incorporate that. I think there are other things that are going on. There are labor-saving technologies that have been out there in which corporations have responded to the lack of labor force that's been out there. I don't think that's been counted yet, so I do think there is something of a productivity story out there, but he's got to let something go. He's got to be kind of like Wile E. Coyote when he gets to the end of the mesa and he steps off and there's nothing underneath him. He's got to believe there's something underneath him now.